Howdy, howdy. Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be doing another episode of World in Flames Collector's Edition Days of Decision 3 Combined Game Playthrough. Last turn was January, February, and there was a lot of gear ups that got done. There was also a bunch of naval action in the Pharos Gap. And I think I'm pronouncing that right. Pharos Gap. I think that's pronounced that way. There was also a bunch of Russian counterattacks on the Eastern Front, and you can actually see in the initial screenshot, you can actually see where the Russians started to make a penetration right through here. The weather was pretty atrocious for most of the turn. The last set of impulses, the weather kind of calmed down a little bit, but even so, snow in the Arctic and storm in North temperate really basically shuts down anybody who's not winterized. What else happened? I think that's about it. The gear ups did affect production a bunch. Alright, I think we can just basically start with having a look at initial money for the major powers. We'll come over here to the Indian Ocean because that's a good place. Alright, let's take a look at starting money here. I got a couple units on the board that are not flipped over, so I'm going to go do that real quick. Yeah, that took care of that. Okay, let's check this out. We have starting money. We have Germany at -1. We have Japan at -11. Italy at 1. The second are tied for the richest major power with China. The Soviet Union at -9. The Commonwealth at -14. The USA at -14. China at 1. And Free France at -6. Last turn when I was doing production, I kind of flubbed up a couple of the figures, but I straightened them out after I stopped filming. So that's all been fixed. The other thing I want to go over real quick is U.S. entry. The current raw total for Germany is 156. Their German U.S. entry, after you plug it into the formula, comes out to be 71.5. When U.S. entry reaches 80, the United States can declare war on that major power. The U.S. entry for Italy is 24, and the U.S. entry for Japan is 39.5. So despite all the gear ups by the Soviets and the Commonwealth, it was offset by what the Germans and the Japanese did. Their U.S. entry actually increased anyways. Alright, now that we got starting money out of the way, let's go take a look at the political order for this turn. We have 4 major powers bidding, despite no money whatsoever. Let's zoom back out. Yeah, that's better. Get the political effectiveness chart in there. I don't think there are any ties. No. Okay, so we have Italy. Italy's going to bid 2. Now, Italy's one of the 2 major powers that didn't get to play a political option last turn, so they're going to get a bonus 3 bid points. That gives them 5, plus their current spot at 6 will be a total of 6. That's going to be enough to put them in first. The Germans bid 1. They have a +4 for their first place position. That gives them 5. That's going to put them in second. The U.S. bid 2. They have a +2 for their 5th place position. That gives them 4. That's going to be enough to put them in third. Japan bid 1. They get a +2 for their 4th place position. That's going to give them 3. That'll put them in 4th. The last card goes at Italy, and the last card goes at Japan. Now, the major powers that didn't bid, we have the Commonwealth at +3 and the Soviet Union at +3, and it'll be broken by the political effectiveness. The Commonwealth's, if I can get it there, the political effectiveness is 7, and the Soviets is 5, so the Commonwealth breaks that tie. They will be 5th. The Soviets will be 6th. The Free French, who are also the other major power that didn't get to do a political option, they would have got bonus bid points, but the major power that was going to link up with him and do a treaty is not doing that this turn, so they decided not to bid, save their money. They will be in 7th, and China will be in 8th. All right, let's head back over to the Indian Ocean. We have Italy. They're up first. Let's go see what the Italians are going to do. I don't think it's a big surprise. The Italians did not gear up last turn, so I think they're probably going to be gearing up. Let's go take a look at it. Yep, gear up. It's going to cost them 7 money. It is the current year, it's 1942. So I will pay the money. I'll record the U.S. entry is a +3, which is reduced by the Neutrality Act to a +2. I will put the minor effects out, and I'll come back and we will activate a minor. Back in a sec. Okay, I think the Italians are going to activate Turkey. I don't know what's going to really go with that, but we're going to see what happens. I got 6 markers here, so let's go over to the status display. Now, the status display supposedly wraps around. So G on one side is G on the other side. So let me show you. Yeah. So we have Turkey way down here, right? So this is the letter G, and we go over here. We have the letter G here. Now, if a marker is more than 11 hexes away, I'm not sure if it means 11 hexes this way, or if it can go off the edge of the map this way. For example, we have the French at -2, right? So here's the French marker. We can go 1, 2, 3, 4 to F, 5 down here, 6, 7. So that would only be 7 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. See, they're more than 11 from the Commonwealth. I don't know. I'm going to say the 11 hex thing has to be on map. Has to be on within the actual grid itself. Even though you can force a minor, like over here with the Venezuela. Venezuela got forced off the map. I think it was at L or N. At N. Over here, got forced off the map at N, and ended up coming on the map, back on the hex map, on the status display at N here. This is N. Alright. Okay, so I'm gonna say the 11 hex thing is just on the grid itself. So like this -2 for the French, that's not going to have any effect. The -1 for the Commonwealth obviously is not going to have any effect. The -1 for the Italian is not going to have any effect. However, the Soviet one, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're only 8 hexes away. Get that in camera here. So it's only 8 hexes from here to here. So they're -2. They can actually force them away like that. And then we have a German +1. Now it costs 2 tetrahex. Probably wasn't a good idea to activate the Turks. It's not going to do anything beneficial to the fascists. It costs an additional 1 for the boundary, but you subtract 1 for moving towards the major power within their ideology. However, it still costs 2, and there's only 1 German point, so that one's going to get blown off too. Okay, we don't need to roll to see if we end the turn. We will move down to Germany. We'll see what they're going to do. Pretty sure I know what they're going to do. Germany's going to build a synthetic oil plant. That's this one right here. Okay, so I'm just going to dig that marker out later and pay for it. We do have to roll to see if the political phase ends. There's no U.S. entry for that. There's no minor effects for that. Oh my God, the political phase does indeed end. Yes, it does end. It's over. Okay, so Japan and the U.S. will get bonus bid points. I will roll initiative and come right back with reinforcements. Okay, so I rolled initiative. The Democrats rolled a 2. The Soviets rolled a 7, and the Fascists rolled a 9. The Fascists decided that because you look at the March-April weather chart, it doesn't look that special, so they decided they're going to go last. The Democrats said, okay, we'll go first, and the Communists went second. That's the initiative order. The weather roll was a 2, which was modified to a 3. And what that ends up being is snow in the Arctic, snow in the North Temperate, rain in the Mediterranean and North Monsoon, storm in South Monsoon, and rain in South Temperate. So the weather is really garbage. The impulse marker will be moving up 3. There's no modifier for the weather roll for next turn. Well, let's go take a look at reinforcements. All right, let's see what we got for reinforcements. All right. All right, so we got, let's see, let's start with the Soviets. We got a pilot. We'll put that on the track for now. We have a fort, hex sides, 2 hex sides built that will go on the map. We have some NKVD. We have a kinda okay fighter, a log 1. And it's not that great, but we'll probably put that. I'm gonna put that on the map. We can use everything we can get right now. We have a Moscow militia and infantry army, 2 infantry armies. One good, one not so good. That's it for the Russians. Not good. I should try to have them, try to get more for the Russians, but you gotta build what you gotta build, I guess. All right, for the Italians, we have a synthetic oil plant. That'll be nice. That'll go on the map somewhere. As we do have a fighter, and we do have a pilot, I believe. Yes, we do. So we'll put that on the map. And we got 1, 2, 3 cruisers. And a cruiser going into, that is a cruiser, yep, cruiser going into the construction pool. So we'll put that over in the construction pool. For the Germans, we got 2 light cruisers going in the construction pool. I'll put them over there. And we have the Ukraine resource that will be going back to where that belongs. We have a motorized engineer. We have 2 pilots. We have a nice fighter. He's going on map. So we're going to gain 1 pilot. We have an infantry corps, an infantry division for the Romanians. I think that's Romanians. Yep. And a militia for Hamburg. Hamburger militia. And I placed the synthetic oil facility marker down already, so that's for the next cycle. The communists get a ACK. Yeah, it's a communist ACK, I think. No, I don't know. What is it? I don't know. Maybe it is. And they get in CAD Corps. Okay, for Japan, we get an infantry army, a very nice sub. We get 2 convoy points. Get a couple CAGs. We'll put those in the reserve pool for now. We got another carrier coming on map. I'll put that down there. I gotta straighten that out at some point. We also have a carrier going into the construction pool. The Americans get 2 tanker points. I'm just piling them up in there. We get cruiser. That'll probably go in the Atlantic Fleet. We play some losses. We get a transport. That's a really nice transport. We'll just throw that in there for now. Also, we get a Alabama battleship. The battleship Alabama going in the construction pool. We get the carrier Cowpens going in the construction pool. I think that's not a Lend-Lease. We get 2 pilots. That's good because the U.S. seems to run out of pilots here and there. Well, they should have got another pilot back, I think, from that. Okay, so they also get a submarine that goes in the construction pool. And they get this. CVE goes in the construction pool. So they have some stuff they can build in the construction pool. Okay, for the Commonwealth, we got 3 convoy points. Need those. Our losses from last turn. We get 2 pilots. And we'll add those to the track. We get a CAG. He's going to go into the reserve pool for now. We get a carrier, a battleship, Duke of York, going into the construction pool. We got a headquarters. We got Monty. Good old Monty. Monty. And we got a ton of territorials, which I'll have to put them out. So I will get these on the map and come back with the first set of impulses. I really don't anticipating a whole lot of stuff going on. The Soviets might do some things, but I can't see the fascists doing much of anything with snow and rain, and it's just going to shut them down. Well, anyways, I'll come back with the first set of impulses soon. So the Democrats basically got their ships out and moved some transports around. I didn't do much other than that. Then we moved on to the fascist, the communist turn, and we do have an attack. The communists have an attack right over here. I believe it's this unit right here. They actually have. They're attacking with 6 units. 3 of them are white print units, so there will be winterized attack, so there will be no column shift difference. Right now, before the air combat, and we have an air combat up here, we have a defending fighter, and we have 2 escorting fighters and a bomber. Before the air combat, the odds are 6-1. So the German player will roll first. It is 5.4 to 4, so that's going to be a 1 plus 1 minus 1. So the Germans roll on the minus 1. They roll 12, which is attacker clears through any one bomber. So he does get through indeed. And then the Soviets will roll. They roll a 7 on the plus 1 column. Attacker aborts. Attacker aborts. Defender's front fighter. Doesn't matter. They were going to abort anyways. So he's all done. Here's right here. The 2 Soviet fighters also will abort. This came from Moscow. Range of 8. This one I believe was right there. Okay, so it is a 6-1. Now the Soviets got to decide if they want to use HQ benefits. The Germans, I do believe, have an HQ in the vicinity. Let's see. No, maybe not. No, they don't. No, they don't have an HQ in the vicinity. So 6-1. I could use the HQ. But that's going to flip them over. We do have armor. The HQ is armor. No, it's not. It's infantry. So we don't have armor. So it's going to be the assault table. 6-1 on the assault table is a 5-1. Yeah, we'll use HQ benefits. So for the Soviets, we got a 5-1 plus 1. That's a 6. That's not bad. Which is a 7. That 5-1 is asterisk to us. So the German unit is dead. And he is not cadred because there's no HQs around him. The only unit that is flipped over is the HQ, which we use for HQ benefits. And we can occupy that hex, and we will. The crappy militia. D8-4 there. That's probably better. This 1-3 did not participate in the combat. And we'll move that forward as well. Alright. Well, I think that is it for the Soviets. We have to see if we can promote a guards unit, a guard banner army. I'll be back with that. Okay, we're down to the fascist impulse. The Germans did a land. They moved a bunch of land units around. The Italians did a combined. Shifted a few units here and there. Moved some units out to sea. Maybe they have some ideas, or who knows. The Japanese are going to retroactively militarize the marshals. So they will be taking a naval this turn, I believe. Or a combined. I think they're going to do a combined. So I will move them. There's not too much to do other than that. And I will come back with the weather roll shortly. Okay, we've gone back around to the fascists. The weather roll was the same as last turn, so the weather has not changed. The Democrats, the Commonwealth, and the French moved a few units in Iraq. They're trying to establish some kind of new front in Syria. They looked at making a possible attack in Africa and the Near East, but it just doesn't work out. No matter how they look at it, it just doesn't work out. So they abandoned that idea. The communists, they also tried to get an attack in, but they just didn't have the right units in the right place, so they moved a bunch of units around. And we came back around to the fascists. It is now the fascist impulse. They do have an attack here. They're also going to have a naval action in both the Faroes Gap and the North Atlantic. And that's all going to be subs. Alright, so let's do the attack. We have a ground strike. There are no Russian fighters to intercept. There are 2 Russian units there. The ground strike has a tactical value of 4, which becomes 2. So the red will be the top die. Red will be the top unit. And nothing. So nothing there. The ground strike fails. Okay. The Russians threw in ground support right here. We flew cap. So we have 2 German, or a German and a Finnish fighter. against the Russian bomber. So we'll have a air combat. It's going to be +1, 4.4 to 3 is 1.4. It's going to be +1, -1. +1, -1. Okay, so I think it is Germans, the Russians roll first. Alright, so in the -1 column, they get a 10. Is defender clears through any one bomber. Defender, player not rolling, clears through on one bomber. I don't have any bombers, so it don't matter. So now the cautious roll, they rolled a 4. That's bad. On the +1 column, a 4 is AX. Attacker destroys enemy front fighter or front bomber. The pilot is saved. The bomber is toast. He's probably going to get scrapped. So we'll credit the Russians with a pilot. Alright, so we have 41 to 6, which is a 6 to 1. 6 to 1. That's going to be on the assault table, which makes it a 5 to 1. We'll use HQ benefits. 5 to 1. And I rolled a 9. That's pretty much does it. 9 is asterisk 2S. So the city of Leningrad just fell. I don't think there's any card right for that. Oh, well, this guy's going to be gone. This guy will go back into the pool. The ships will be scuttled wherever I put them. I can't remember. And the Germans will occupy the Hex. Or rather, the Finns will occupy. We'll occupy the Hex with some German units too. The Finns can jump in there too. There we go. And that's it for that. Alright. Well, the 3 Russian ships there, they have no escape. They have nowhere to go, so they're all scuttled. Alright, let's go take a look in the Atlantic. In the Atlantic. Let's go see what we see there. Alright, we have a potential sub-action. First we gotta roll some dice. I'm gonna grab my dice, wherever I put them. I seem to lose them. Alright. I'll figure out the modifiers in a minute. Oh! Ooh, okay. What we got here is a 1 and an 8. So it's snowing, so there's a +1 to the search roll. So that's actually a 2 and a 9. So let's see. My highest box is 3. That's an 11. And he has a 5. So that's going to be 6 surprise points. It's not going to be as good as it was last time. 6 surprise points. Okay, let me figure the numbers out. Okay, so this turns out to be the following. After you add the modifiers in for the convoy points, which gives the fascists a -1 on their die roll for each 10 points. And for each 10 points, so that would be a -2. 10 plus points, that was a -2. It comes out to be 8 surprise points. We have 7 ASW factors plus 2, 3 more. We have 10 ASW factors, counting convoys. So the Germans have to spend 4 surprise points to make it a sub-combat because the Commonwealth has a naval air unit there. And this actually is useful because it sucks up some of the surprise points that the subs get. So what that comes down to, with 10 ASW, the fascists are going to shift it 2 columns down to the 4 to 5. With 8 ships, he gets 1 damaged and 3 aborted. Okay, so let's do that. He'll take his damage first. I think you just want to get rid of subs. So let's do the damage on the 9 pointer. So the fascists roll. They have to roll a 10 to save it. Well, they rolled a 9, not good enough. So that one's going to be damaged. Now we got 3 aborts. I'll take the 7 for the abort. And he is aborted. He's going to go home. The Commonwealth will abort the other 9. And he's aborted. And I'll choose an 8 for the last one for the the fascists. Oh, it does only get to half abort, so he hangs around. Alright, so now we got 24 sub points. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 11 ships, 12 ships. 12 ships with 24 sub points is going to be 1 sunk, 2 damaged. So the Germans will take 3 convoy points for the sunk. The British will take, for a damage, they're going to take it on the Leander, or whatever that one is. So you got to roll better than a 6 to avoid a damage. And nope, he actually is going to be damaged too. And the final damage we will take on 3 tanker points. So they're going to go to the, they're going to be damaged. So they don't leave yet. Now we roll to see if there's going to be another round of combat. I think the aborted one does go away, doesn't it? Yeah, the aborts go away. At the end of the round of combat, they do disappear. Alright. Well, it's not quite as good. We got a 2 and a 7. Not as good. 2 and a 7. So let me work out those numbers. Okay, worked out the numbers. It's going to come out to be 5 surprise points. And again, the Germans will have to spend 4 of those to select sub-action. That leaves 1 point left, which is not going to move anything. So, we'll go straight up. We got 8 ASW points, and there are 6 subs. 8 ASW with 6 subs is going to be 1 killed, 3 aborted. 1 killed and 3 aborted. So, he wants to destroy subs. So he's, I'm going to take that 9. Take that 9 for the kill. Let's see what we roll. And he's dead. He is sunk. And then 3 aborted. It's probably going to be it for the sub action here. They're all 8, so it doesn't matter. So we'll just roll 3 dice, starting from this side, moving to that side. First 2, both are aborted. And the last one, he's aborted as well. Okay, now we got 17 sub points. 17 sub points. Right here. Looks like 2 dead. 2 killed. Alright, so the Germans will definitely take 3 more convoy points. killed in convoy points. And for the British, do I want to lose ships? Do the British want to lose ships? Or do they just want to sacrifice some more convoys? I have plenty of tankers right now. Well, I actually don't have. Oh, and I actually have these Belgian. Oh, I do have a few. Some Greek and some Belgian. Yeah, you know what? We can take. We'll take 3 tankers. And that's the end of that. These Germans will now abort. The remainder ships. Okay, he goes into the repair pool. He goes into the repair pool. Remainder, go home. Remainder, go home. Go home, go home. Go home. Okay. Now, a decent turn as far as the fascists are concerned. Now we got the Italians. The Italians, let's see what happens over there. Probably 0. Italians like to roll really bad. Oh yeah, 7-6, forget it. That's the end of that. Alright, Italians have no attacks. The Japanese have nothing going on because it's bad weather. Alright, so I will roll to see if the turn ends. We are at a 3. Let's roll a die. What happened to my dice? Oh. Let's roll a die, see if the turn ends. Nope, keeps going. Okay, I'm going to roll weather. I'll be back after probably the end of... Probably I'll be back with maybe either the communist impulse or the fascist impulse. I don't see the Democrats attacking anybody. Okay, the Democrats went. Oh, the weather roll was same as before, 3. The same weather. Same impulse move up by 3 and no modifier to the die roll. The Americans moved a couple more ships out. They can have up to 5, I believe. So they moved a couple more ships out into the North Atlantic in case the Italians get frisky. The communists, however, have an attack. They have an attack over here. It's that red die right there. Got to spend their oil. Got to spend their oil. So the Germans unfortunately have no fighters in this area, so we do have a ground strike. We're going to try and ground strike. We escorted with a fighter in case the Germans do have ground support they could try to run in, but I don't. Yeah, they could try and run in. Yeah, we're going to do that. 2.5. Now, so this one will make it. We'll try to run the Heinkels in. It'll be a spoiler. So the bomber stream and the fighter stream, and we have a bomber stream. That's probably not going to work out too well for the Germans. Okay, so the German rolls first. He is defending. Okay, so this is going to be air combat. He's going to be on the -2 column. Ooh! What am I doing with these dice? Alright, -2 column for the German. Russians are liking that. Ooh, they didn't like that roll though. Got a very bad roll for the Russians, a 5. On the -2 column, a 5 is attacker abort. Attacker aborts defender's front, fighter, or front bomber. I'm going to abort the bomber. Actually, the bomber, he's going to do ground strikes. I'm going to abort the fighter. Okay, he's going to abort. Now, the Russian rolls back on the +2 column. He rolled a 10. It's kind of like the roll they get in Atlantic. The +2 column, a 10 is attacker clears. Attacker clears through any one defending bomber. No, okay, so the The bomber gets through, his bomber gets through, so they both get through. That's a ground support. This is a ground strike. All right. So ground strike, we have the red will be the top unit. That's going to be at 1s because it's half. Okay, no effect. He flies back. And so now we have 12, 13 and a half to 3. Oh, that's AA, isn't it? No, it's anti-tank. I think that's that's anti-tank. I have 3, and it's 9, 15, 16, 26, 31, 31, 33, 48. Looks like a 3-to-1. We do have an HQ in here, I believe, someplace. Maybe we don't. We don't have an HQ. However, we have more armor than they have. So it's going to be 3-to-1 plus 1. We'll do it. 3-to-1 plus 1. And this is going to be on the Blitzkrieg table. 3-to-1 plus 1. We rolled a 5. 3-to-1 plus 1 with a 5. What is that? The Blitzkrieg table. It's 3-to-1 plus 1 is a R, a retreat. He gets a retreat. Whew, Germans were sweating that. But the thing that's going to do is that's going to flip over all the Russian units. Because they just basically expended everything they had. Don't think the Germans will be able to get an attack because some of these hexes are pretty rugged. But there probably won't be any more Russian attacks at this point. Alright, so that's the end of the communists. We'll move on to the roll to see if the turn ends. We are at a 6 right now. Oh, and the communist Chinese didn't do anything. They got nothing to do. They're happy with the way their line looks. And the turn is over. Turn is over. So the fascists are the only ones that didn't get an extra impulse. So I believe that moves both the other 2 markers down 1. Alright, so I'm going to come right back. I got to roll partisans, U.S. entry, and then I'll come right back with production. So I rolled for a U.S. entry. It ended up being a +7 between the 3 countries. I think it was a +3, +3, +1. Partisans, we ended up with 1 partisan, Yugoslavia. Seems to be a recurring theme in Yugoslavia, partisans. For production, okay, we have Germany running at 48 now. She gave 4 Lend-Lease to Italy, so that's 44. She started with 36 and spent 40. That's what you bet right there. Japan is running at 25 now. She started with 12 and spent 14. Italy is running at 15. Got 4 Lend-Lease from Germany. That's 19. Started with 12 and spent 14. The Soviets producing 32. Their production has increased. It's basically because there's combat in the Soviet Union. It gives them a +25 boost for having enemy units in their country and another +25 boost every time there's a combat within their country by the enemy. So they produced 32, got 4 Lend-Lease, 1 from the US and 3 from Great Britain. Oh, the Commonwealth rather. So that's a total of 36. I started with 28, spent 27. The Commonwealth produced 24. Sent 3 Lend-Lease to the Soviets, started with 20, produced, that's a net of 21, started with 7 and spent 9. They're digging themselves out of a hole from excessive production and the gear up. United States produced 30, sent 1 Lend-Lease to the Soviet Union, which is 29, started with 13, spent 25. China produced 3, started with 4 and spent 4. The Free French produced 1, started with -5 and spent 7. So they're going to have a -12 for next turn. Alright, so I'll get these on the wheel and hopefully I get this turn done in a little bit and uploaded. Thanks for watching. I appreciate any comments, subscribe, all that fun and good stuff. See you next time.